video, we're going to make a gatefold card. I'm going to start off just like I did with my basic card by inserting a shape of a square. I'm going to then unlock this because I want to make one edge longer than the other. So then I can say I want the width to be, let's go 8.5, and the height to be 5.5. I'm going to also change this to white. So for a normal card, we would put a score line right through the center and fold it in half. But for a gatefold card, we're going to want a score line here and here, and these two side flaps will fold into the center. So then the card opens like a front gate would at a home. So I'm still going to need a score line. Let's go back here and insert a score line. I'm going to need it to be the same height as the card, so that would be 5.5. I will need 2 of those, so I am just going to duplicate this one. Then I can take all 3 of these things, the 2 score lines and the card, and say align everything to the left, align everything to the top. So now those 2 score lines are stacked right there. So now I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to use my XY position. You can look at the numbers here to kind of help you determine which is the X and which is the Y. So right now the X is almost to 3. So if we look here, the numbers up here are almost to 3. So this is your X. So with everything selected, I'm just going to change this number to 3 and hit enter. So now the edge of my card and my score lines are right on the 3. This is going to help me because when I figure out where I want my score lines to be, I'm going to just be able to use some math to add it to the number to that 3 and move it. Let me show you what I mean. So if I click on one of these score lines, like I said, the X is at 3. I know I want to move it over 2 1/8 of an inch. So then if I add that to the 3, that comes out to be 5.125. Same thing with this one, but I want that one to hit over here. So now that I have those positioned where I want them, I can grab everything and say attach. Attach is going to hold the placement and position of things so that I can grab the whole card and move it around. Now, once I fold this, I'm going to want to put something cutesy on the front. And I'm just going to do a couple elements that are going to kind of cross over each other. I'm going to design those in the center of the card, but they're really going to go on one flap and then cross over to the other. I can even design some pieces that are in here. Let's do that. So if I start off with something that I know is the size of this panel, so this piece would fit exactly in this panel if I cut it right now. So now I don't have to do any math because I can go with an offset, slide that to the inside, And I know that's going to give me a perfect little edge. Let's do it right there. Oops. So now that's a little inset piece that's going to fit perfectly in there and do a perfect little border. So now I can duplicate that and put that over here. And I can change the color of this to whatever I want it to be. And then I can go over to color sync and say make the black one match the blue. Okay. Now let's add some more shapes. And I'm going to add a little offset in this one. And honestly, I am just kind of making this up as I go along. I'm going to take both of these and duplicate them together. And let's undo that because I'm not liking how that worked. If I take this one and group them together and then duplicate that grouping, there we go. So now I can take that one and put it here and duplicate that one and put it here. So now it kind of does this steppy kind of thing that's going to overlap on the front. So now all I have left to do is cut and assemble this gatefold card. Now it's time to assemble all the pieces. I'm starting with my base card, folding on the score lines, and then using my bone folder to crease it. And you can see how those folded together perfectly in the center. And then once it's closed, the whole thing's going to just fit in an envelope. Now I'm going to take the pieces for the side panels. I'm going to open the card back up and place those. Remember to take a look at which way you have your card folded, because it would be terrible to stick these to the wrong side of the flap. And actually, now that I think about it, you could just cut more and have them on the inside and the outside of the flap. So maybe not the worst thing, but still, you would have to go back and do more cutting. All right, so now these are all the pieces for the parts that I said we're going to fold over each other in the front. So I'm just going to stick the small orange piece on top of the yellow piece to kind of layer them. It's also going to help give things a little bit more pop when they have that little border around them. I am just using a tape runner that has a double sticky tape in it, and then I can just slap that on there. It's not rocket science. It's just paper. That's a one nice thing. It's just paper, so if you mess up, you cut some more paper. It's not going to be the end of the world. So after I have these all layered, it's going to be important that I grab my card and close it. So I'm working on the front pieces. And then I am just going to put tape on one side of the yellow piece so that I can stick it here and stick it down like this one's sticking on the right side. So then when I open the card, see how it goes free. Because if you put adhesive all the way across, you wouldn't be able to open your card. So now this piece I'm going to stick on the left side, and then it will open freely on the right, so that it goes back and forth, back and forth. Then my master plan was to use these big stars that I had left over from another project. And when I put them on, they seemed too big. So I went in my little stash where I had smaller stars from yet another project, and I decided to use those. I found some that had some kind of cutouts in them. I have a small container where I save all the random stars that I might cut too many from one project so that I can add them to other projects like this one. So now I'm just going to add a little touch of glue here and stick a random star there. So this would be really easy to do if you had stickers too. Just add some random stickers. You could also use a rubber stamp and like stamp happy birthday or something like that on the front of the card. Before you go, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I love to hear from you.